big story with these two Labour MPs being refused entry to Israel. The government has said it was unacceptable, but do you think that Israel was entitled to do what they did? What's your view?
Countries should be able to control their borders. What I think is shocking is that we have MPs in Labour who other countries will not allow through. I think that's very significant.
Shocking because?
Insane that she can try and frame this, that two MPs from a party that has essentially appeased Israel for the entirety of the time they've been genociding in Gaza. And even that isn't good enough for Israel, because Yuan Yang and Abdesam Mohammed, they were going to Israel because that's how you visit the West Bank. To visit the West Bank, you have to go to Israel, you have to fly to Israel and then go through the checkpoint because, of course, it's an occupied territory by the colonial regime, you know? So you have to go there and be scrutinised by the IDF for them to let you into the West Bank. And so, of course, Israel didn't let them in. Of course Israel didn't let them in because they don't want people seeing what they're doing in the West Bank. They're doing in the West Bank what they've been trying to do to Gaza for the last 18 months. They're trying to clear people out. They are protecting settler pogroms. They are bulldozing homes. They are burning down olive groves. They are protecting the further expansion of settlements in the West Bank, engaging in their continual subjugation of the Palestinians, massacring civilians and destroying neighbourhoods and refugee camps. They've been doing that across the West Bank, and they don't want people to see that shit. This is why they blocked these two MPs. And for Kemi to frame it as though somehow it was these two MPs being somehow bad people themselves, that Israel let them not come into the country, or even worse, she's trying to imply that they're anti-Semitic, is crazy. It's crazy stuff. You have to wonder at this point, how many members of the Conservative Party are just Israeli, stooges at this point? 80% of members of the Conservative Party are in Conservative Friends of Israel. You have to imagine most of these people just are fully being shepherded by people who they have connections with Israel at this point. Remember, so many of them have just been off on these expenses paid trips. People like Priti Patel and Suella Braverman. And it's also funny to me that it doesn't matter how much you bend over backwards to accommodate Israel's genocide. It doesn't matter how many weapons you sell them, how much diplomatic cover you give them. It doesn't matter how much you appease them or assist them by doing reconnaissance flights from RAF Akrotiri. The Israeli government will still reject your ministers going just to check that you're not doing a cheeky little genocide in the West Bank.
Well, if you look at the reasons why the Israeli government has given for why they're not letting them in, they don't believe that they're going to comply with their laws. MPs do not have diplomatic immunity. I believe that the people who represent us in Parliament should be people who should be able to go anywhere in the world and people not be worried about what they're going to do when they go into those countries.
Are you suggesting the Israelis were right to worry that these two Labour politicians would break the law if they got into the country?
Well, they were going to break the law in what universe? It's not illegal to go and visit the West Bank. That's what they were going to do. They were going to go and see the West Bank. They were going to go through a checkpoint and then spend their time in Palestine, in the sovereign Palestinian territories occupied by Israel. Again, it's just a cover-up. Just like they covered up the executions of these aid workers the other day, and of the aid workers in World Central Kitchen last year, it's a lie, because that's what they always do. They always lie about the reason why that they deported these Labour MPs, because they didn't want them to see what was going on in the West Bank. It's literally as simple as that.
The reason they gave, and what I believe is that every country should be able to control its borders.
They gave a reason, did they? Just believe them. Just believe them. Oopsie, we did a little fucky-wucky with the aid workers, Again, literally, and it's the same with the Labour government. They'll do this every time when Israel will do something wrong, and they'll go, we are going to wait for Israel to investigate themselves, and then once they tell us they've done nothing wrong, then we'll just believe them. This is what we're saying here. And it just shows you that David Lammy's approach, where this has been how he has interacted with Israel for the last 8 months or whatever, where he will just let them investigate themselves and let them off the hook regardless, is a hiding to nothing, because they'll still deport MPs for trying to actually have a look at what was happening to Palestinians in the West Bank.
We do the same thing. There are many people that we don't allow into our country, and I don't think we should be setting precedents in a different way.
So just to be clear, you believe the Israeli government's account of this, not the Foreign Secretary who says they were treated unacceptably?
The Foreign Secretary has given his view. I've given my view.
Okay.
So yes, she believes Israel. She believes Israel over her own government. She believes Israel over her own country. proud patriots in the Conservative Party, the believers in the British state and in British sovereignty, out here going, actually, I believe these genocidal freaks over in Israel, over our own foreign secretary, and that these people, these MPs, the newly minted MPs as well, both of these people were somehow going to be such rapscallions that they would break Israeli law, even though all they were going to do was visit the West Bank via Israel. Badenoch on Twitter, reposting the criticism, external Badenoch said, unlike China, Israel as our ally and a democracy, a good foreign secretary would be able to make that distinction. Perhaps Labour MPs could put UK national interests first and do their jobs instead of campaigning for airports in Kashmir or promoting Hamas propaganda in Parliament. Jesus Christ. This woman is crazy. This woman's absolutely crazy. Apparently, opposing war crimes is Hamas propaganda. But this is basically it. This just shows you the contradiction of conservatism and their belief in the rule of law. They don't believe in the law being universally applied to everybody. They want to use it to attack the out-group and protect the in-group. That's all conservatism is. It always has been. Israel's the in-group, China is the out-group. Israel can do war crimes and we'll believe them about our own elected officials, and yet we'll decry China regardless, whether they do good things or bad things, because they're the enemy, you know? If only Israel would define its borders. True. And define them into nowhere, ideally.
Emily, I must just ask you there, Kemi Badenoch indicating she believes the Israeli government's account that these two Labour MPs were up to no good, essentially. What's your take of that? You look quite horrified, I have to say.
Absam Mohammed, and I know Yang very well. I know Absam particularly because she's a member of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. And these are two young women who are potential leaders. I mean, people listen to what they say. They are highly respected parliamentarians, and Israel is badly advised to try to alienate them, to humiliate them, and to treat them in this way. Because people listen to what these two young women say, and they will do for decades to come. And in my view, Israel really needs to start making friends as opposed to alienating people in this way. I think that
Have you considered, Emily, that they care more about colonising Palestine than they do about how many friends they have? I mean, that's literally been their modus operandi since day one, because all they've been doing is shitting their own government and country's credibility through the floor because of their desire to massacre as many Palestinians as possible and to take as much land as possible, you know? They're not here for friends, Emily. They're not here for friends. They're here for Palestine. Like, the fact that you're getting mad over your friends being treated badly and not getting mad about the fact that they did it so that they could hide the crimes they're committing in the West Bank. More harsh words for Israel for expelling 2 MPs than for however many thousand Palestinian lives brutally erased and UN aid workers killed. It's so true, Hal. It's so true. Like, the level to which that Lammy and Thornbury and a bunch of Labour people have gotten more angry with Israel over sending back 2 MPs than they have over all of the civilians they've massacred. Shows you the state of the Labour Party in 2025.
it's an insult to Britain, and I think it's an insult to Parliament. I am outraged, and I cannot believe that the leader of the opposition would simply take on the face of it what it is that the Israelis say, because we know that there are times when the Israelis say what the Israelis say first time isn't what they say when they've had a chance to think about it.
Oh, is it, Emily? Oh, is it? Oh, they do sometimes lie and then change their story, like they did about Shireen Abu Akleh, like they did about all the other journalists, like they did about the aid workers twice. Oh, so now you recognise that maybe they take different decisions and say things that might not be true. How strange, Emily. Weird now you're on the backbenches, you have a different opinion. Because when you were the Shadow Attorney General, you were all, Israel has a right to defend herself. You were the one who refused to answer a question and parented similar lines to Keir Starmer about the imposition of a siege on Gaza. Isn't it weird? Now you're a backbencher, suddenly you're very forthright about Israel being lying, and you won't even say the word lie. You're letting them get away with it, Emily. Your party is letting them get away with it because you're still selling them weapons and doing reconnaissance flights from RAF Akrotiri.
All we have to think about at the moment is the way in which those people arriving at the scene in ambulances were shot, and the first description and explanation that the Israelis gave, and now they're going back on it. I think that they will rue the day that they did this to British parliamentarians. This is the first time that they've ever refused MPs access to the country, and they were going with a parliamentary group that was organised with Carbu that has brought parliamentarians into the region for decades, twice a year. And frankly, the insight the parliamentarians have is because they visit the area. If Israel has something to hide, then that would be a terrible thing. But frankly, they should be open to parliament.
Oh, it would be a terrible thing if they might have something to hide. I wonder if Israel might be hiding anything, Emily. It's a fucking mystery, innit? When I agree, how this would be the ideal time for them to climb down over their Israeli support, but I don't think it'll happen. Again, because they want to have a good relationship with Trump. They want to have a good relationship with the United States. They want to get a trade deal. They want to minimize tariffs. And if they start attacking a man who apparently controls Donald Trump's brain, Benjamin Netanyahu, then the trade deal's gone kaput, chat. Emily Thornberry said bad things about Netanyahu on the Laura Koonsberg show, and now we won't get a trade deal. And that is how petty Donald Trump is. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.